Showtime. Dynamite Download.
Welcome to Dynamite Download, your source for positive coverage of all elite wrestling.
This is what pro wrestling should be like.
I told you guys, positive energy.
I think that created a little moment in itself.
You're saying I have a better record than Kenny Omega and Samoa Joe, and now I'm going to have to wrestle them.
I've never seen someone able to break down like wrestling like he does.
That punk, that long-haired hippie freak.
My real story does connect with a lot of people.
That you need to be careful in the locker room.
I definitely think that women's wrestling has been elevated.
And with the loss of Brody, I feel like we were just kind of a little bit directionless.
I was like deep diving into like cults.
Raw horse.
Raw horse?
Oh my god! Amazing.
I had to smack him around a few times to fully gain his respect.
You said that in front of the voice of a generation?
It was Frankie match.
Awesome.
This podcast is quite frankly the drizzling shit, if I'm being quite honest.
The day spread positivity about AEW.
Welcome to Dynamite Download.
Wow! Dynamite Download. And we got a new wrestling fan here, my new co-host, Momo the Cat. She is now official AEW. She is all elite.
The cat of Dynamite Download.
Yep, she's already chimed in with her own top performer picks. She is, maybe she'll even get in the draft. I don't know, but yeah, she has been all elite. She is a big fan of the luchadors. She likes the flippy doos. It reminds her of chasing birds and squirrels around the house. But anyways, what up, SPD?
First and foremost, you just told me that we got to give a special B-Day wish to FTD.
Happy birthday!
21 years old. She can have a adult beverage finally for the first time.
Stole lot. She can legally drink.
Happy birthday, FTD, the one that keeps you in check and also all in check. The resident heel.
Good Lord. She does do the reality check on us. In fact, our old radio show is called Reality Check Radio, and she was definitely the reality check. She's known to go full tilt.
Love it.
Hearing that nickname.
Steven, what's up, bud? We missed you, bud. Hope everything's going fine with you, man. We missed you last few weeks. Good to see you back in the chat. And Bobby, welcome in the chat as well. Back on YouTube chat. I know for a while you're coming on the Instagram chat, but I'm glad you're here with the full squad on YouTube, hearing from y'all. So welcome, everybody. Happy Thursday. You know, my wife is in Vegas right now for work. Ooh. And I was trying to get her to go to Dynamite last night. And I was like, you should go to Dynamite. You know, it's right down the street from where you're at. You can recreate our intro with the Bang Bang Gang. Mm-hmm. And she would have no idea what she was talking.
Bless her heart.
Once in a while, she'll tune in with me when we're sitting at home and watch along. But and she'll point out some of the feet. She knows some of the wrestlers, but it would be a stretch for her to go obviously by herself. But
does she have a favorite, and why is it Orange Cassidy?
Honestly, for a while, I think she was a DMD fan back in the day.
Oh, really? Interesting.
So, I think that was because back then. And she does really love Thunder Rosa as well, because, you know, she was featured on our show and she's a fan of the show, and like, you know, the backstory and her presentation of the show, she was a big fan. So those are kind of like, you know, OG ladies. I'd have to ask her if she had to pick one or two like male performers who she would come off the top of her head. Let me see. I'll shoot her a text and maybe she'll respond. Yeah. While we're on the show, but that would be hilarious if we got like my wife, FTD, anyone else with the ladies. My wife,
very nice. I will tell you that, and this is advice for all AEW heads, sickos out there. If you want a happy wife, you want to convert your spouse, significant other into joining AEW. Don't push it. Don't try to push it on. Come on. Just watch it while they're around. Let them hear it. Here's what happened. She started hearing Jericho's promos. She started listening, and then she saw Kenny, and then she started watching Moxley, heard Moxley promos. And by the time we got from the first Dynamite to Full Gear 2019, she was hooked. And actually what hooked her was the Lucha Brothers, the Young Bucks, and then she watched that unsanctioned match at Full Gear between Moxley and Kenny, and that was it. She's done. She was done, hooked, and now arguably she's as big a mark as I am with
I'd say so.
Things. Even though her boyfriend has changed his name to Royce Keys, and his Mark. Okay, yeah.
So I want to get, before we dive into like AEW and stuff, I'm in the middle of a little late to the game watching Unreal on Netflix, the WWE show, which to me, I love behind the scenes stuff. So I'm not mad, or I'm actually excited to see all this stuff. I love, pulling back the curtain and things like that, whether it be, movies or, music venues or anything, commercials. And so like, I'm a fan of that. So I want her to watch that with me, rewatch it. And so I think she'll appreciate the art of wrestling even more since she's in the theater world herself. But wow,
Absolutely.
Speaking of, look at this.
Oh, wow.
We are bringing it in to the chat with a super chat party.
I think we got to go with the world champion. So here's a super chat from the world champion. Let's hear it. There we go. Now, hold on a second. Thank you so much, BR. And also thank you for your kind comments. If you haven't checked out my YouTube channel, I'm playing around with making music. I had this music maker, and I wrote a song about our other cat, Carl. We call it nickname Schmangy. And I made kind of a late 80s rock ballad about him and how, you rescued us when we rescued you. It's actually pretty gnarly how it turned out. So check it out. I mean, I'm sitting there headbanging with it. It's pretty cool. I got to also highlight really quickly, because I caught it in the chat. We're celebrating my lovely wife.
My wife.
Birthday, but Bobby says tomorrow is mine birthday. So that's Bob. The guy that's kicking everybody's tail in this draft has got his birthday tomorrow. So why not we do another super chat party? This time, the newest edition, or one of the newest editions, probably, and they keep coming. One of the newest editions, three of the newest additions to AEW. The Rascals made their debut on Collision. So happy birthday to you. Hope you're having a great time for your birthday. Happy birthday, Bobby. Happy birthday.
Oh, dang.
I have a
happy
challenge.
Early birthday, Bobby. Leading the way. We'll show the rankings. If you haven't seen them, you'll know someone's sitting at the top for the last few weeks. But that's a good quick segue. Before we dive in tomorrow or to last night's show, we got a couple big announcements with the tag division, which the tag division I think is really going to start to soar in 2026. FTR had some great, getting the belts off of Brodito, which really kind of reignited, I think, the tag division, the Brodito saga and phase. But GOA versus the Young Bucks, GOA has been very impressive as of late. The Young Bucks are back to their old self, and we see the Rascals and the winner of the Young Bucks and GOA versus plus a mystery team for the number one contendership. I mean, you got it. Like, if this is going to be Young Bucks and Rascals plus another team. Could you imagine if, like, in the heyday, if this was Lucha Brothers, like those three teams, like? But I'm predicting. I was thinking about this when I saw this graphic. Like I feel like this would be a good opportunity for Private Party to come back.
Ooh!
Could you imagine Rascals, Private Party, and Young Bucks going toe to toe in a triple threat?
Shots!
Like,
Here we go.
How fun would that be? Like,
that's
the Rascals getting high, the Young Bucks with the tassels and the super kick parties, and they're back to themselves, and you have Private Party, with the red carpet and the shots. And how sweet would that be?
Here's the thing, though.
I didn't even think of that. I was kind of thinking for styles of the match, but if this happened, wow. Steven, man, you're always with a great take. How do you feel?
He's talking about Cope and Cage.
On this day,
Daddy,
I see clearly.
Uncle Edge, and Daddy Christian. That would be cool. I don't know, man. This is what I love, because I was already intrigued at Private Party, and then you're talking about Cope and Cage popping in. I think that would be cool. I have a feeling, though, that GOA is actually going to go over the Bucks on Collision. Here's why: because the Bucks interfered last night. And I think there's going to be payback. I think there's going to be some
Ricochet kind of.
Yeah, I think there's going to be some interference. I don't know. Maybe Jack Perry's going to cause interference and cost GOA. I don't know. I think there's something going on. I also think it's interesting that it's Myron Reed is going to be is wrestling instead of Wentz. I wonder if the Rascals are going to kind of do that Freebird thing where it could be any combination of the two, which would be cool. But I'm all for a Private Party, Young Bucks, Rascals trio, three-way.
My gosh, that would be so fun to watch. But at the same time, I wasn't even thinking of the return of Cope and Cage. Like, I would love that.
Well, here's my question, though. Does the winning team face FTR at Grand Slam or Revolution?
I would say if they're the number one contenders, they can kind of pick and choose their spots. Like, it almost gives them the power of when they want to do it. And if it is Cope and Cage returning, then they could be like, or FTR could be like, we're not giving you the shot, whatever, all this. And it could just be a back and forth and a slow burn to Revolution. Now, if it's not Cope and Cage and it is Private Party, or even if it's someone that may not even win, such as like Butcher and Blade coming back, which would be pretty cool as well. That way it buys a little bit more time to have, because you need opponents for FTR in the meantime. If you're going to do Cope and Cage, yes, it's Steven Dynasty in Vancouver, which would totally make sense. But that's in April. And, that's 2 months away, 2+ months away. So you need to have some opponents, which could be the Rascals, which could be Butcher Blade, which could be Private Party, like all those teams except the Young Bucks. If the Young Bucks were to win, I'd want that a little down the line. Or, I mean, we could see another rematch with the Young Bucks, FTR, Revolution, which would be absolutely incredible, because think about it. Revolution's in Cali. That's Young Bucks turf. So for them to put on a 5-star banger with FTR, win or lose, everyone's going to win, would be really fitting for that to be in Cali.
I love that. All of those options. And this is what I love. This, again, we've said before, we said last week before, this 2026 AEW is already taken off with jet fuel. I love it. Everything that they're doing, nothing seems forgotten. It seems like Tony Khan's giving attention to the trios, attention to the tag, I love that the women's tag is still getting attention.
100%.
Love to see any combination of these can happen. I hope when they bring Butcher and Blade back, that they give them a decent push.
Agreed.
I know there's probably a lot of a story behind why Allie left, the bunny, but the bunny made Butcher and the Blade stand out so much more. Even if she doesn't wrestle, she did join Penelope at was one of those mystery wrestling that Evil Luna does. I think it would be tremendous to bring Butcher and Blade back as baby faces against GOA.
Yeah.
To have that interaction going. I think that would be tremendous. There's a lot of ways they could go, but I think it's fantastic. I'm all in. I'm all in for it. I'm looking forward to it. And yeah, I love that there's this, we're seeing the same theme that they're doing with the men's singles titles, that there's more than one contender circulating for it.
Yeah, a lot of what ifs. I love that. I love as much as I love the clear path. I love the unknown.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. There's no clear, it's going to be this person next at such and such. In the past, there was always like, okay, well, we know Samoa Joe is going to challenge for this, or we know that so-and-so is going to.
Sure.
Now it's like, we don't know. Like ever since MJF got the title, we don't know, who's stepping up. Is Hangman? Is it going to be Andrade? Is it going to be, who's gonna get the next shot? And I think that would be fantastic. I'm looking forward to it.
Oh, Steven's saying Guns are another team. A return of the Gun Club would be pretty sweet as well. I mean, this is an opportunity for AEW to reintroduce a team that may have been hurt, been gone for a little while, have been just kind of, nothing creatively. I think it's a great opportunity. I really hope it's just not some, random team together. You even could do Murder Machines, a return to that, like someone from the Don Callis family. Like it would be, you gotta strike with this one.
Can I overbook for a second?
Yeah, bring it on.
And friend of the show, Austin Gunn. The Gun Club has been so plagued with injuries and all this stuff. I know Jay White has hinted his return. Hold off.
Yeah.
Colton, when he's ready, hold him off. Juice, when he's ready, hold him off. I think what they need to do is Austin needs to try to fight alone. I think his dad bring Billy in a little bit, but even Billy gets beaten down. Have him feud. I don't know. Ricochet feud with some faction, probably Ricochet or the Don Callis family or something like that. And I'll get Austin feel like he's alone, and even to the point where he's the only one doing the Guns Up intro. Right. Where it's all these empty spots and it's just him, and he's just like, I got to still do it. And then now we're gonna borrow a little bit from Avengers Endgame. Austin takes on the GOA and Ricochet and bring in 1/4 heel just to kind of make it a 4-on-1. And sure. He's there and they're ready. And then he's just going to take them all on. And then you hear the Gun Club music and Juice is back. Then Colton comes back. And just when it's 3-on-4, shing!
Oh, yeah.
The Switchblade's got to be number 4 to come back. And the crowd, I mean, just you build it up. Juice, because he's the most recent to leave. Colton, now it's okay, it's the 3 there. And then you bring Switchblade. And then it's just like, and Austin just sells it like the gang is back. And that's, so imagine great. That. That's, yeah. Thank you, honey. Yes. Quit overbooking. Yes, I am sorry. But all I got to say, if you're not down with that, my birthday wife, I got 2 words for you. Guns up.
Guns up, indeed. Guns up, Callis down. Kicking things off, trios match. It is great that Pac is not hurt. Legit hurt. I know he sold that injury with the crutch and all that. I was saying broken leg, blah, 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 blah.
Yes.
You sell it for the storyline, which he did fantastic for. But you saw the cheers for everyone in the Death Riders tonight as well. So I like this combo. I mean, it's just a testament to show how insane of a squad Don Callis has. Like, and he could throw in, the Yahtzee Cup and throw out three names and then roll them together and then put any 3 trios together. And I actually really like this one. Also, because I was like, no matter what, SPD's getting a point because I got Josh and I got Mox. But it's ultimately setting up for the main event that we want, Takeshita and Moxley rematch. But I thought this was a great way to kick off the show. You know, Moxley has been so, and the Death Riders have been so pivotal to AEW over the last year plus, and kicking off the show with them always heel or babyface, I think, is a smart move, whether you want to piss off the crowd or get the crowd going. And nothing like a Justin Roberts, John Moxley announcement, but back and forth, a lot of great chemistry. And you said it, man. I'm not going to take your thunder, but there's a certain two guys in this match that would really put on a clinic that we please give us the singles match. But I got to say, honestly, didn't expect it, but one of the standout performers of this match was Daniel Garcia. You know, even though he took the pin, he took so much offense against him, and he was kicking out. I'm like, oh my gosh, they're making him look like this like unstoppable guy because he's taking this punishment, this finisher, this, that, and he's kicking out. But that end sequence with Garcia really impressed me. Yeah. And I think I needed that. Personally, I think I needed to see a little dominant performance by Garcia, and it helped for me.
I thought it was great, and I agree with Steven. Of course, the snake is always right. You always got to trust the snake. Yep. But that's the opposite of what Jake Roberts used to say. But anyways, but yeah, I like that Daniel Garcia also took the pin, but it wasn't like it wasn't like a squash. Like and I like how even sold, like he was kind of bewildered afterwards, like how did that happen? And there was definite Moxley that wasn't pissed at Garcia. It was clearly they were this war is not over. Yeah. Garcia looked great. Clone, whatever you want to call him. That dude's unreal. And you and I talked about it. We can just, let's say, please, Tony Khan, give us what we want. Give us a series, a 7-series match between Pac and Clone. Ending with some kind of ladder cage match or something, but just put the two of them in a ring together back and forth. As long as Pac doesn't get hurt, I want that. Takeshita, you know how I feel about Takeshita. That moment between when Moxley and Takeshita got face to face, Takeshita was chopping Moxley as if he thought he was Bobby Boucher and put Okada's face on Moxley's body. He was chopping him like with the same hate he had Okada, and of course Moxley taking it. That's those moments, like when you get those face-offs and you see them going at it. That's what I live for. Those things are fantastic. I got to give kudos Josh Alexander, because here's a guy that was the top dog at TNA. You know, he's Maple Leaf champion, but he's still he knows his role in AEW. He's not pulling a that doesn't work for me, brother. He is the walking weapon. He's a blunt instrument for Don Callis family, and he's filling his role, and he's doing great. He's great and helps other people look great in the ring. Of course, I'm biased. I'm always going to be more towards Takeshita out of the three of them. I would love to have swapped him out and put Fletcher in there, but I know storyline that's not going to work. But it's just, like you said, it's a testament to the Yahtzee bag. Pick a name from the Don Callis family and put them in there, and as long as they're not injured, you're good to go.
Another guy from the Don Callis family that to me had quite the night. I was going back and forth for top performers of the night, and I feel like I should have picked Hangman, because this was on paper, you're thinking, okay, Mark Davis, he's a strong wrestler, and he's had these some two tag team matches that were pretty sweet. I've been liking the way he's been presented in this Don Callis family, but I really was impressed with Mark Davis's performance on this one-on-one match with Hangman. He had tons of offense, incredible chops, and was a beast, man. His offense is starting to become some of my favorite stuff that he can do. Like his finishing move, his incredible hammer town lariats that he throws, his chops that he throws his body around. And I gotta say, I mean, he's looking really, really good to me, at least.
No, I agree. I agree. I think this is kind of goes back. It's weird how this happens. It kind of goes back to, up until they put him with Jake, he had felt lost without Kyle. Like it was almost like they didn't know what to do with him. He didn't know what to do with himself. He was kind of trying to find his place, what his role was going to be. They put him with Jake, even though they only wrestled a couple matches before he tore his bicep. Before Jake tore his bicep, that was enough to kind of give Mark Davis a perspective, almost like he saw his role defined by his tag team partner Jake Doyle, and it kind of defined him, helped define who he was going to be in this not just Don Callis family, but what he was going to be in AEW.
Good
and
point.
I saw a lot more confidence in his wrestling this time. And even though it was a singles and Doyle wasn't even around, I saw a different Mark Davis wrestle Hangman. And of course, Hangman's going to help him look good. Hangman can make me look good. And I'd fall trying to get into the ring. But Mark Davis had a confidence that I think helped the match. It helped the whole thing. And I mean, there was no doubt that Hanger was going to win, but I do think that this helped. I think Mark Davis has finally found his niche. And I love seeing that in AEW when like Ricochet, heck, I remember when Isaiah Cassidy, even without Mark Quinn, he started finding his role, with Matt Hardy and kind of found his own like Zay kind of thing, brother Zay kind of thing. When a wrestler finds their niche, finds their click, things click, you can see it in their confidence, and it translates to a great match.
Well said. Really great. This is good. The praises, I'm glad you're seeing it too, and I'm sure the audience is seeing it as well. And he was thrown into like random battle royals and all that, and it's just a shame because I felt like that Jake Doyle and him really were like this kind of old school pound and ground, hammering, really brutal offense, almost like a plus size FTR in a sense.
Yeah.
Like the FTR gives you that, but these guys, Mark Davis and Jake Doyle, were like, bigger, meatier men of FTR version. And so this match, I felt like really Davis pretty much dominated it for the most part. He dominated through the commercial break to the commercial break afterwards. Then he had a lot of offense, and he really took Hangman to the limit. And I'm glad Hangman was able to help, uplift another wrestler in Davis. And I could see, I don't know where he goes from here, Davis, but I think he impressed us. Clearly, he impressed us both for what we had. But
I got to point out something real quick.
Please.
Just real quick that what Steven was brought out. He reminded me of that spot. I know exactly what he's talking about. There was a pile driver where Hanger kind of fell almost to the side. And now, granted, I think he took it all on the shoulder, but that did look gnarly. But I don't think to me, that doesn't overshadow the whole match. To me, I felt like the match, like going back to what we said, Davis. Then see how interchangeable they are now. It's like I think of them both now.
Davis and Doyle.
Davis and Doyle. But I think the way Davis, I think that was a shoddy spot. It could have been, both of them. It could have been Hanger, whatever. Things happen. But I do think that overall I thought the match was great. Mark Davis had that confidence, and they shook that off and it moved on. Yeah. And I do hope, please, speedy recovery for Doyle. Because I want that tag team back. I really enjoy watching the two of them as like a wrecking crew.
Yeah, we just got just a little taste of those guys.
A taste.
There should be no reason why AEW did a Will Ospreay vignette unless he is inches away from returning. Oh my gosh, man. Ospreay is definitely in my top 2, top 3 wrestlers in AEW ever since he officially signed, if not the top 1. And what he had to say in this promo, like it gave me chills on my arms, and it just was like, man, we miss you so much, and AEW is not the same without you. And I know you haven't been in AEW for 5+ years, but in the short amount of time that you have been here, you've made such a huge impact for us all and in AEW, and it shows on so many different levels. And so for AEW to kind of like, surprise, we got a Will Ospreay promo or vignette. It's hopefully we're reading between the lines, and it's a good sign.
It's giving me Triple H returning from the quad vibes. I hope they keep. I don't want him to return just yet. I want them to keep having these vignettes. Go ahead, license U2, Beautiful Day, if you need to. But if you remember, like I remember when Triple H was out in the quad and all that, of course, and yeah, everybody blames Jericho for that, but you know, whatever. I do think, but it's that kind of thing where you're built like you're going really deep. How personal it is. I mean, you can feel it. They keep showing the X-ray, and I think then the next vignette they should start to show him trying to rehab a little bit of like, is he going to be able to come back? Have Alex
like
Windsor part of that whole thing. Yeah, kind of Rocky montage, but have that doubt. Is he going to make it? Is he going to be able to be the same when he comes back? And then I don't know if you remember this. Anybody that's been a wrestling fan from back in the early 2000s, when Triple H came back, this is one of the biggest crowd pops in wrestling history. I don't care if you hate WWE. You got to go listen to Triple H returning after his quad surgery. The moment the first note from his theme hits, the crowd goes in decibels. Like you can't even hear. And I mean, they had to play his song on loop 3 times because the crowd wouldn't shut up. If you go back and listen to it, it just continued. He missed the first spit the water take because it took forever for him to get to the ring, not because of his leg, but because the crowd wouldn't shut up. And it was just it was so electrifying just to hear. And if you hear in interviews, Triple H wasn't sure they were going to care. He wasn't sure if they're going to be like, oh, this jerk's coming back. But he said as soon as his music hit and he heard the roar of the crowd, he looked at Stephanie and he almost cried right then. And he just went, oh man. And she had this big smile on her face and he went right out there. And it was just glorious. Now, again, say what you want about Triple H, whatever, but those are those kind of moments that I know when Ospreay's music hits.
Yeah.
Whenever that is. And I hope they play. I hope
this the one right here?
Yeah. If you don't mind a little bit, this is because imagine.
I'll watch it when we're done because it's 10 minutes long. I can't wait.
Take what happens here. Go check this out. But then imagine what they can do with Will Ospreay's return in light of this.
Yeah.
Now, sometimes I like when there's surprise returns. Switchblade should be a surprise return. A lot of these wrestlers surprise return. Thunder Rosa's surprise return. But Will Ospreay, everybody's asking. Everybody knows this is one that you can milk. You gotta milk it, stretch it out, and then when he returns in that music, that dun 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 dun.
Yeah.
When that hits, the crowd is going to go nuts. Yes. We're going to be elevated. We're going to be elevated and all will be right with the world. World peace will happen when Will Ospreay returns.
I cannot wait. And yes, I agree. Give us the teasers after teasers after teasers on that. Real quick, got to talk about this. Look at this. I mean, she looks like a freaking $1,000,000.
Red Sonja. Yes.
How did you feel about this? And Brent, if you're still in the chat, what are your thoughts when you saw this presentation of Statlander?
I'll just say this: Stat is the champion. She's carrying herself as a champion. She's not. Is she the best promo? No. But she's with Willow and Harley, and they're rubbing off on her. But she's presenting herself as champion, and I'm loving it. And she's really taking on that role. I like that Tekla's still kind of a formidable opponent at this point. He
has a rematch next week.
I do also think I think it's time to freshen it up a little bit after Tekla, but Xena Warrior Princess. I kind of thought Red Sonja, but whatever. She's a cosplayer, and I do kind of like that everything she wears has some kind of background to it. And sometimes I know what it is right away. Sometimes I'm like, what is that? Some character from Final Fantasy -12Z or something, or Chrono Trigger Virus or CoochieVirus.com or something. You got to find out what it is. Next, you should do the Venus shaving outfit. But I think that I like her presentation, and I do think she's filling that role. She is kind of what Hangman was when he was champion.
Yeah.
Now, I do think her time as champion is going to run out as we get to the summer, I think that it's going to be time to put it on a heel at some point.
So here's the thing, not to cut you off. Sorry.
No, good.
Like with the rematch coming up with Tekla, I don't know. AEW does that sometimes where it's like you have that awesome match, then you run it back, and then there is the change of title. Like I could totally see a title change, Tekla having it, and Statlander crawling back to try to get it back again and winning it back.
I don't see Tekla being champ yet, though. I don't think she's,
because there's no one else in line right now. There's I know it's like, do you have it where you have Tekla champion and then Statlander gets it back eventually because she's fighting through the Sisters of Sin, fighting through the Triangle of Madness? I don't know. Like, it's interesting. We'll see.
They do. I will say this though: we need some more female heels.
Yeah,
and I've 180'd a bit on a certain dentist, just knowing a little bit more of the backstory. But money's money. And, if DMD came back to AEW, she'd be compelling. I still think Statlander would throttle her. Megan Bayne, of course, would be another contender, but I like what they're doing with her and Penelope right now. So in the tag team division. So I do think it's, and Tekla is kind of the only villain going right now, but then I almost feel like she wins the title. Now what? Unless Statlander gets a rubber match and go from there. You could kind of go that way. But I just don't, as much as I love Tekla and I think she's fantastic and such a great addition, I don't see her. I don't think she's earned because here's the thing about the titles in AEW, just and in WWE to some extent, but in AEW, the titles aren't just a gimmick. They are kind of, especially the AEW men and women's titles, they're kind of they're the locker room saying, yes, you are the face of who we represent. You're our leader. Right. If you're a villain or a hero, MJF, as he's the villain on screen, but he's a locker room leader, just like Hanger, just like Swerve, just like Kenny. Same thing with Statlander. Statlander, Willow, and Harley are those are three that are beloved in that locker room, and there's nobody in the locker room has a problem with them having that gold. Has Tekla gotten to that point yet? I don't know. We don't know what's going on in the locker room, but I don't know I don't know if it's different. Like if you compare it to like Tommaso Ciampa coming in on his first match and winning the TNT title from Briscoe, that makes more sense because one, Tommaso Ciampa's very experienced, it was well known. Everybody knows, most people know he came from the E. There's history between him and Briscoe. The way the whole match went, the shaking hands at the end, everything worked great. With Tekla, I don't know. I don't know if I see it time for that. I mean, there could be shenanigans and then she'd get it back at Revolution. That's an option. All I know, and this is something we can come back to later, is they're doing a hell of a job building up this Grand Slam in Australia. That's all I gotta say.
Oh, it is very, very good.
Yeah.
I'm excited about it. We might need to do a special pre-show or something like that. There you go.
There we go. Athena. Yep.
I 100% agree with that, Court.
Yes.
Free TV last night gave us a all-in worthy match. All in is, as we know, the essential WrestleMania of AEW. This is an all-in main event worthy match, and holy cow, did it deliver. Kenny Omega in his peak form. Andrade pushed like he should have been pushed from day one in AEW. But hey, we're here now. Let's focus on the here and now, and he's being pushed perfectly so far. He's undefeated since his return. He's aligned with the Don Callis family, and it's working very, very well. And wow, this was a great match. And throwing in the screwdriver gimmick, throwing in any little interference, like you got to do that to protect Kenny Omega a little bit. But yes, what a hell of a match indeed, Courtney. I can't say enough about this. It's like you rinse and repeat. I'm glad. Like I liked how AEW. First off, I liked how they started the show with the little pre-promos like they did on Saturday Night Collisions a lot of the times. But then they had a little ticker in the corner saying, Kenny Omega, Andrade Alito, 39 minutes away, or whatever it may be. And I like that to get the excitement going and make sure you're tuning in. Not that we aren't, but make sure you're tuning in for this epic match. But wow, gosh, this is run it back, please, because it was such a good match.
Absolutely. And again, this is another case of now. This is a case where a wrestler left WWE, came to AEW, then left AEW, went to WWE, then came back. But on this time, he has found his niche. He's found his click. He's clicking with the Callis. Like this presentation of Andrade, you can even see it. He's happy. Now, maybe part of it, he dropped that anchor around his neck known as Charlotte Flair. But, I know she's probably a nice person and they're probably amicable, whatever. But he's so happy. Like, you can see it. He's smiling. Of course, he's got this gimmick where he's getting digits and flirting with the I guess the Spearmint Rhino provided some talent at the ringside last night. But I love this.
I love that gimmick that he's doing that.
But Andrade has always been fantastic in the ring, but there's always been kind of that. I've always sensed this uncertainty. Like they tried to pair him with Vicky Guerrero, then they tried to pair him here, and then they tried to have him with Roosh, and like they were trying to find his spot, and he didn't quite seem like he was sure of himself or of what he was trying to be. Like it was like he was trying to be arrogant, but couldn't quite find that niche, and he didn't know which way to go. But this presentation of Andrade over like the whole package, it's like all the missing pieces have fallen into place. He's always been phenomenal in the ring, but he was exceptionally phenomenal. And of course, you're going against Kenny Omega, the best bout machine. Kenny looks fantastic. Kenny's looking the best he's looked in a while. Andrade is just a specimen. The two of them this was phenomenal. I leaned over to Deb. I said, I hate to break to you, but I think Andrade's going to win this. And I think he's going to be the one taking on Hanger. And sure enough, and I do like the way this went down too. I do like that as soon as I saw Swerve come into the ring, I said, you know what's going to happen? Swerve's going to accidentally cost Kenny this match. And now we're in addition to Hanger versus Andrade, which I've wanted for so long, we're getting Kenny versus Swerve.
This,
Kenny versus Swerve.
Text us in the chat with Steven, like if we get Swerve versus Omega at Revolution, like, fantasy booking right now, Kenny versus Swerve Revolution. If we got FTR versus Bucks at Revolution, oh my gosh. Andrade versus MJF at Revolution. Now that's going to be a fun, cool story and something we've never seen. I don't know where would you see the trios titles who are going to fight? I know they have not had an official defense yet, so I think you got to kind of shift gears. Especially, I'm all for Hanger going for the world title right now because it's very fitting, but use the trios titles as they should. Kevin Knight's doing singles, Speedball, Hanger, like they have the trios titles for the reason. So focus on that. I think, I think Hangman's going to come up short, and then you need to have them focus on the trios because I want them. They need to have a reason why they took them off the ops, which obviously there's other reasons that we know with, things going on. But, someone on Twitter posted this, and I wish I could take credit for this. And this is a hell of a hot take. And man, it would pop all of us like crazy. MJF at Revolution beats Andrade. Ospreay's music hits. And then Ospreay comes out, and then all of a sudden the lights go out. And then you know who else shows up?
Phenomenal.
Oh my God. How sweet would that be? Double surprise.
I'll tell you what, if Tony Khan says there's going to be a casino gauntlet match at Revolution, AJ Styles is coming.
I don't think he'll debut in a match though. I like that take because you end the show with Ospreay and AJ Styles. That way it buys more time for Ospreay and or AJ to dethrone MJF. Like you think Ospreay's going to go for MJF after Revolution, but I think the money isn't there yet. Like the money, Ospreay and AJ would be a hell of a damn match.
I think you do this. I don't necessarily think you have him interrupt MJF. I think you have him come up. Because we're going to be building. We say that Ospreay will return at Revolution. Ospreay will return at Revolution. And so you give him that spot to come out and give his heartfelt welcome back. And have him tease for a second like he's not the same. And he goes, well, let me tell you, bruv, he's got to earn his way up. He's going to talk about how he's going to fight. He's going to earn his way up. and he's going to beat everybody because he has done one thing. He's beaten everybody in that locker room, and there's nobody that's going to, you don't want none, you don't want Phenomenal. Like all of a sudden you see see the music hit, and then Phenomenal comes out, and then AJ Styles, the crowd will go nuts. And then it's like, he came. Yep. Can you imagine?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think that would be insane. Again, overbooking, but I think you have that moment, and it just the crowd goes nuts, and yeah, it books itself. Double or Nothing, AJ Styles versus Will Ospreay. Come on, man. Even if that's not as AJ's last match, come on, man.
Give the people what they want. Give the people what they want.
Yes.
On a night that we saw 2 eliminator matches succeed, which is very rare for AEW, we saw the Women's World Tag Team Champions versus Mega Bad, potentially the future champs, go toe-to-toe again, or toe-to-toe. And now Mega Bad is in line for an official title shot after this one. And I honestly think they earned this because they looked like the better team last night, and they looked like a more cohesive team. And no knock on the Babes of Wrath. We're happy for them to be in the inaugural Women's Tag Team Champs. We love them. They're fun. Such a great vibe, great energy. You have obviously the Hoss in Willow, the powerhouse Willow. And then you have one of the most improved wrestlers with Harley Cameron. But Mega Bad just clicks. They click on a lot of cylinders, and I love their dynamic. And you have the athletic spots for Penelope, and then you have the powerhouse in her own with Megan Bain. So, and she's on quite the tear as of late, not only in AEW but everywhere she goes.
Penelope had me worried a little bit towards the end. There was one spot where I think she really did hurt her back, and that's one of the things. That was one of her.
She was selling it real good.
I don't know if I hope she was just selling it and not actually being, hurt. But it could be one of those things or the other. But I think that I don't know. I think that there's I knew that you're talking about. We had 2 contender matches that both. We had 2 contender eliminator matches that both resulted in a spot. This kind of goes back to me talking about how they're building up Grand Slam, because this is going to be another match that this is one where the titles could change hands. I mean, I love Babes of Wrath, but this could be another one of those things where we're going to put them. We're going to put them, and maybe Mega Bad was supposed to be the ones that got the belts in the first place, but with Penelope out, it kind of you see how that kind of went.
And do not discount Jamie Hayter and
yes, Jamie Hayter and what are they calling them? The Windsor, the Birds of Prey.
Is that it?
The Bloody Birds, Bangers and Mash.
I think they're the next winners.
You think so? You think? Well, do you think they're going to defeat Babes of Wrath, or do you think that you put it on Mega Bad and then have Mega Bad feud with the Birds of?
That could be
the Birds of Bangers and Mash, or whatever they're called.
I think you got to put Windsor and
that could be
Hayter as baby faces.
Well, that's what I'm saying. But you have them. That's why I'm saying I think you're right about what's it called? I think you're right about Mega Bad leaves what's it called? Leaves Australia as champions, and then
in her hometown, Harley's going to lose. That's not the TK way. However,
she lost to Mercedes.
True. But look at where she's at now, though. Look at the growth she's had. Mercedes beating Mercedes in general would have been a stretch at that time, but now it's a little bit different story. However, I agree. I think it's, as much as we don't want to see Babes of Wrath lose, if not now, win is a good time for Mega Bad to win.
Yeah, except that you could also have one other thing happen.
They should come out to spoil the victory of Megabad. Give us an instant feud. Because they could also come back and TK and AEW is not too shy about putting baby faces versus baby faces. So let's say Babes of Wrath does win, then you have Iconic's debut. Like Iconic's debut, regardless, would be awesome. But I think this is it. I really do think. I think we're seeing the title change. We'll see.
Well, here's the thing: Harley and Willow have been fantastic.
Agree.
But Willow's also the TBS champion, and she can kind of dedicate to that. And Harley is Harley. You can put her anywhere. Heck,
agree.
She's BFFs with Cassie and Jesse, the inspiration, if you will.
Yeah.
But I think you've got. I love that they're really building this tag team division, and AEW has something that WWE really doesn't have: a strong women's tag team division.
Yeah.
And they kind of just throw women's singles wrestlers together and say, all right, you're the tag team champions. Yeah. They don't really push them. They can really, and I know Mercedes has got a big issue with this too, because that's one of the reasons she left WWE was they put her in Trinity, or put her in Naomi, the tag team champions, got rid of, and then we're like, whatever, we're not going to really push that. So I think they're really focusing on the women's tag teams. You bring in the Iconics, you got the Bangers and Mash team of Jamie Hayter and Windsor, and you got all these teams. You've got some compelling storylines. Bring Allie back. Have her in the mix, bring and whatever happened to Ty J. There's some clear tag teams that are legit tag teams. And I think as much as I love Babes of Wrath, I think it's time for Megabad to roll with the tag team champs.
Agree. And even if they do win, lest we forget last week when it was a 5-on-2 beatdown.
Yeah.
So, could we see kind of maybe at Revolution a women's anarchy in the arena with the Triangle of Madness and Megabad versus Babes of Wrath / Statlander plus the Iconics, or plus Nina and Tony? No, I mean they're not really tied into that. Yeah. But could we see a women's anarchy in the arena at a Revolution? 5-on-5?
I don't think we'll see Tony there, because somebody is gonna look like a flaccid penis.
High into my world, yeah, they could help out them as well. So that would be pretty interesting. As we're cruising through, we can still get two more matches to talk about. Ricochet versus Jungle Jack Perry for the national championship. I just want more and more Ricochet on my television. This guy's doing gold medal worthy stuff on social, gold medal worthy stuff in and out of the ring and promo work at the commentator desk. Like the perfect package this guy is, and I just want to see more of him in the ring because he's so fun to watch. Like he sells so great. He's got such awesome offense, such aggressive, innovative offense. Like in and out, everything. Give us more Ricochet. Show us that national championship more and more and more. And this has been a long time coming, this match, and they finally had kind of like the payoff of it last night on Dynamite. But I just want more Ricochet, and I'm jealous that he's on your team.
I love it. I mean, he's keeping me in the running. I got to tell you, both of these guys were candidates for my top performer, as well as Kenny and Andrade. It was really tough last night to make a decision.
For sure.
Ricochet was so good at his role. He's so good in the ring. He's so good. He's such a great heel. The way that whole thing went down. But of course, the Bucks got involved. So how's GOA going to retaliate? Is Jack Perry going to retaliate on Ricochet? How this whole thing is going? And I love this back and forth between the 3-on-3. I think it's fantastic. I love Ricochet. Again, another one of those examples of somebody that found their groove, found their spot, and I'm loving every minute of it. And I thought him and Jack Perry, this was gold. I mean, this could have been a pay-per-view match, and we got it again for free. And Jack Perry, I think Jack Perry is wrestling the best he's ever. I love that he's got one foot back into his Jungle Boy days, but he's also that everything he's learned since then, and I think he's a much more seasoned wrestler. and I like this Jungle Jack Perry persona. And good night, BR. Love you, brother. And this was another one of those matches that I enjoyed. I did enjoy the main event for different reasons, but we'll talk about that. But yeah, this was phenomenal. Phenomenal. You're going to be hearing me say phenomenal a lot. I think.
Let's just keep planting those seeds of the word phenomenal. Plant.
Yeah.
If AEW gets AJ Styles, that'll be one of the biggest pops, impacts, social talks, like in the wrestling world. It'll be like one of the most like craziest, I think.
As soon as you hear the organ music, dude, you're gonna know.
I know it's gonna be.
Well, just think about this. Just think about when both Adam Cole and Bryan Danielson showed up at All In.
Yeah,
remember, or at All Out? Like both of them showed up the same night. I mean, that's the stuff. That's the crazy
I was there
stuff that
live. I was there live for that. I had to change my diaper twice because I crapped myself after first Danielson, then Adam Cole, the double swerve.
At Revolution, wear the brown pants. That's all I gotta say.
Well, I had to change my drawers because at that All Out was Lucha Brothers versus Young Bucks in a cage.
Yeah.
So I was, soiled myself there. And then when Danielson, one of my favorites, FTD, happy birthday, wishing you well on that one. The Yes Movement was quite that. And then I loved the double swerve. Actually, it was a triple swerve that night. We had a Ruby Soho.
Yeah, Ruby was great.
Danielson and Adam Cole. It was incredible. Anyways, this main event did not see this coming. Did not see this coming. And you talked about MJF
let's tell the audience.
Show.
Let's tell everybody how our text went. You send me a text saying, "Wow, AEW is really going to go over a lot late tonight." ... Nope, not really.
Well, this match, the bell rang at like 10:02, and I was like, "Damn, they're really going over."
You sent me that text, and I laughed as soon because no sooner did I read that text, the
bell rang again.
Oh, it was funny, and of course, again, Hanger involved. Yeah, the way they involved everything in this whole thing was perfect, and this is another one of those things. This is another one of those things where they're building up Brody King winning was such the right move because it was an eliminator match, and now this sets up Grand Slam. And we got that image of him holding the belt. That's another one of those things I like about AEW is seriously developing their talent. Whatever criticisms have been, and some of them may have been valid, where it seemed like there was a cap. And I know Brian Alvarez and I agree a lot on a lot of things, but the one thing I disagree with him on is how he keeps saying how a lot of these people are in the same spot they were years ago. I disagree. You look at guys you look at Swerve, you look at Kyle Fletcher, you look at, so many of these guys now are seen as main eventers. Bandito and Brody King. Brody King holding that belt. It's is he going to win? No, he's not going to take it from MJF. But you're putting that seed. You're planting. He's holding the title. You're planting that seed that someday this could be this. Hey, this is something that could happen. You're putting these guys in that classification, and I love it. I think it's tremendous, and I hope Brody King, even though I'm wearing my boy's scarf, I hope Brody King beats the crap out of MJF. And
that was what I was hoping. I didn't think it would be like this, but I was hoping MJF would get a literal ass whooping, like I would say last week, like just smack him around a little bit. But wow, I did not expect this. And this was it's like a tale of two stories how I feel. And one side it's like MJF's the champ, like, and he's doing this jobber job. And I know it wasn't like a true jobber job because you have Hangman coming out, but I feel like to get beat this quick in that, it kind of devalues MJF a little bit, and not, he can recover from so much, but I feel like it feels a little cheap in a sense. But then at the other side of that, it's like, oh, you built up someone like Brody King, who is very, we don't necessarily could have seen him in the world title picture, but now we do because of what he just did to MJF. You know,
And
3 moves and he's out.
I gotta say something too. You know, Steven's bringing up that there was a the crowd was kind of making a political chant, and I think that's because of some controversial tweets that Brody King has posted. I gotta say, I mean, I don't really pick sides, but I gotta agree with Brody with his F Ice tweet, because I'm so sick and tired of these frozen roads. I've had to we've shoveled, we put salt down. I've had school has been canceled. Now, granted, I don't mind staying home, but like enough of these. Like, it's 21, it's 29 degrees, and I got to drive in this stuff, and I'm sick of it. I'm ready for spring. F Ice, bring on the sunshine, bring on spring.
Bring on the
some
spring.
flowers around here. I'm tired of ice. And I've got some salt.
I'm out of ice in my drink right now. I need a little bit more ice.
I got some ice here. I got on the rocks here. So this kind of ice I'm okay with, but the ice that's on the roads, I'm done with.
How do you feel about that, though? How do you feel about the essentially squash?
I liked it. I thought it was different. I think it keeps us on our toes. I thought it was and here's the thing. If you notice, MJF has been treating Brody King a little differently than the other wrestlers. He's showing more fear. Like, even almost a little bit kind of like Moxley. He's the only other person I could think of that MJF has actually shown some fear around. Like, the other guys, I mean, he'll run like a scalded dog, but he's kind of like ha ha ha, you can't catch me, the gingerbread man. With Brody King in his promos, he legitimately Peter Brady'd a couple times, because it was like he was like when he went to tap him, like poke him, and he went like, oh, that's quite a torso there, Brody. You know, like that's I love that kind of stuff, and I thought this was a great way to really make Brody King, sell him as the monster that he is. And here's the thing: if it was a longer match, then it's not. I don't think it would have. I don't think the setup for a Grand Slam would have been as compelling. But the choke out and everything, and here's what's funny too. This is not a slam against any other wrestling federation, but they're starting to do that now with Gunther. Is they're trying to have him do the choke out. They did it on Dragon Lee, so it's like they're watching. But so that's showing you how effective it is. I think that. I think it was great. It presents Brody King as this monster. He's a legit threat, at least presented. I thought it was fantastic.
I enjoyed it as a fan. Like, I'd be popping at the show because of obviously we don't like MJF, but we do secretly like him. But this shows, as you know, circle back to what you're saying earlier in the show, and I see you fluffing your Burberry scarf there. But I do feel like MJF is a locker room leader, and he is trying to uplift other people, such as the Briscoes, the Brody Kings, and so forth, and all that. Now that he's carrying that gold, that comes responsibilities, and if he's going to do the job or do things like this for the bigger picture, like, I think he's not afraid to. I think maybe it was a little bit different previously, but now I feel like he's kind of matured, and he's like really invested on all in the product and really trying, and we can see it. It's not just him being a total douchebag and being a cocky douchebag and, not wrestling a lot, not being involved a lot, just cutting a promo and leaving. And now we're seeing more wrestling out of him, more involvement, more bell to bell, more start to finish of him featured so far in all the shows.
I think we're seeing a maturity in AEW in general too. And I think that you see that through MJF. And I think you're absolutely right. I think you nailed it with MJF specifically. But I think, and I'm not naming names and we'll never know the names, and the names will probably surprise us, where of who is and who was and who wasn't kind of a cancer in the locker room. But like Darby said, they got rid of a lot of the guys that were not for for everybody. A lot of that doesn't work for me, brother guys.
Right.
And I think Tony's not worried about WWE. He's focused on AEW. He's not, they're getting out of their growing pains from 2019 to now. They've gone through puberty. like they've kind of gone, they've bickered, they've gone through, they got the acne, they had to go through a lot of dark times and challenges, including, you know, the CM Punk. I actually think in the long run was good overall because it kind of showed them, okay, this is how we need to approach our product going forward, and this is the things we need to make sure we do. And you're kind of seeing that now in these guys, and I think it translates to the show. I feel like I don't ever feel like now watching that I go, wait a minute, was that guy kind of going into business for himself? You know, I don't feel that way. You know, and I think that's, and like I think guys like Tommaso Ciampa, I feel like everybody's in the same thing. Yeah, I got to put my wife to bed here in just a little bit.
No,
happy birthday, dude.
Yes, happy birthday. Your points are spot on, and I love that we're seeing the growth of it, and it's crazy that we're seeing this. It's great also that we're seeing this with a lot of the core guys and gals. You know, the Moxleys, the Young Bucks, the Kenny Omegas. Now it's back. Like as we talked early on, you know, a month ago when the year started, like it just feels right this year so far with Kenny back, the Bucks back, and Moxley now being a babyface. Like it just they're hitting on all cylinders right now, and it's been in Grand Slam is going to be. I mean, we still got Collision this Saturday in Grand Slam. I'm buzzed, I guess. Dynamite next week is going to be a phenomenal show, and then Grand Slam is going to be the cherry on top of the week for sure. With big stakes at hand with Hangman and Andrade, we got.
I think the biggest. Come on, the biggest stakes in all of these matches, though, the hair match.
I will never do a hair versus hair match.
Well, I was going to put a challenge to you. Do you think we're all supposed to assume it's going to be Wheeler Yuta, but how much of us are thinking now here? Yeah, I mean, can't you donate your hair to some charity?
I did in April.
Yeah.
I donated.
So here's what we're going to do. What if we did this? What if we challenged whoever, like if Wheeler Yuta gets shaved, you have to shave your hair.
I would never bet on Wheeler.
All right. What about if Marina Shafir's the one that goes bald?
This has nothing to do with me.
All right. Yeah. Okay. All right.
I have a friend and coworker who runs a wig company for people with alopecia that I donated 16 inches with in April, and so now I'm on a regrowth 2.0 for another batch to donate to her. So. It's not going to be. It's never going to be a buzz or a short. You know, the shortest I'll go is like probably like shoulder width, like I did before. But yes, it'll always go to a good cause.
Well, you and me both, because I donate my hair clippings to Merkins for senior citizens. So
your armpit hair?
No, Merkins. Give it a goog.
Top performers of the night.
Your wife is an actress. She should know what a Merkin is. It's
I'll
not
ask
American.
her.
All right. Yeah, top performer Andrade. It could have been Ricochet, could have been Jack Perry, could have been Kenny. But it had to go. I had to go Andrade. What a phenomenal wrestler! The spinning rolls, the stuff that he does. He put on a incredible show with Kenny, and I think compelling. He's happy. I love it. Translates. I love watching him enjoy wrestling like he's supposed to. I think he's at home, and whatever happens going forward with this guy, I think this is where he belongs, and I think he knows it now. And it was great to watch him.
That like fake kick back fist move he does, I can't even like follow it because it's like holy cow! Like I feel like he did get Kenny pretty good in that match, Andrade, with that back fist. It's like not a lot of room for error. It's almost like the Judas effect. But
yes,
he throws in a fake kick there.
And it's such as fast. It's so quick.
Yeah.
Like it's like he stomps on the foot and does a Judas kind of thing, and it's just out of nowhere. And it's wow when it happens.
Andrade is so good. I'm so glad he's back and being pushed the way he's pushed. Man, Bobby sitting at top once again. He's the first to double digits. First to double digits in season 8. Congratulations, Bobby.
Bobby Batts, I tell you, man, I'm loving it. You know, and this goes to show. Remember, the Snake had his time. He's at the caboose right now. Anything could happen. But good Lord, I mean, you know, Bobby made some good picks, man. Everybody, the caboose sisters are like in the middle. you know, and
they're no longer the Caboose sisters.
yeah. And it's something Ranger and Steven were like two of the top guys for a long time. You and I were top guys. Anything can happen. It's
Look at
crazy.
It. Yeah.
It's
FTD
crazy.
is no
Now,
longer on the right side. She's been pushing hard on the left side all season long.
When did we decide we're going to do our pick 2?
After Grand Slam.
After Grand Slam.
There's a lot of good free agents out there. We got
there'll be some
wild card pick of Osprey, phenomenal AJ Styles. We obviously got
the Rascals.
Tomas, the Rascals, Ciampa, we out there.
Yep.
FTD picked up Penelope Ford, so she snaked that one up. But for those, Ciampa is already picked up 2 points, potentially 3 points. Or no, I think this will be 2 points on Collision if he does retain on there. So, yeah, it is. We haven't picked a date yet, but it'll be after Grand Slam, so sometime before the following Dynamite. So that way we can definitely get them picked on our teams, so we can get more roster spots filled on that one. But wow, great draft, great show.
Yeah.
Thank you all. That you guys in the chat were awesome. It loves to Snake hates the Caboose. You know what, Steven? You should purposely. Well, you can't really control it, but you being the Caboose right now, you will have first pick. So that means you could have quite the impact player.
You could have quite a phenomenal pickup.
Right.
Unless you don't want none.
There we go. It's a +2 after Grand Slam. Grand Slam is just 9 days away. So we'll definitely be doing that after Grand Slam. We could see some surprises. We could see some new momentum. And then we're going through the draft is going all the way through Dynasty. So we have all the way through Revolution, which is the +3. This being such a close draft, the +3 is going to on the pay-per-view is going to catapult someone to different standings.
Well, just think about it. Like, let's say that Courtney wins the bingo.
Yeah.
Boom. She's in first place.
Dynasty is in April.
Yep.
So we got Revolution in March, Dynasty in April. So we still got about 2.5 months of the draft, and we got 2 pay-per-views for this. So great stuff. Happy birthday, FTD. Cheers to that. I am actually in Chicago right now, so I'm celebrating for you in Chicago.
Get some White Castle.
I will be here for the next, let's say, 12 more days I got here. So I'll be here in Chicago celebrating on your behalf. Just missed you guys for, in about a month out of there. So I'm here working the Chicago Auto Show by the McCormick Place at a hotel for me and Finnegan for the next couple, another week and a half. But happy birthday, FTD.
Absolutely. And a shout out, GC Dub is coming up. There's coming up a show's coming up. Marco Stunt's retirement. March 14th. I'm going to try to make it up there with Nacho Man Shane. Anybody else welcome to come out there. Joey Janela, everybody's going to be out there. KJ Orso, another, the former Fuego del Sol. He's got a sick new shirt coming out too, by the way. But yeah, retirement for our man. Shout out to Marco Stunt. He's putting up the boots. But do you ever really retire from wrestling?
Right.
I think it's going to be a work. It's going to be a swerve. He's going to show up, and he's going to be the new ringleader of the Death Riders, and he's going to reveal his identity at that point.
All right, let's do it. You were always pushing for Marco heel.
Telling you, he's money. People underestimate the dude. All right, good night, everybody.
Thanks, y'all, for coming out.
Stop.